All right, gang, back again with another banging review of a Zara fragrance. This one is called Full Moon Over the Desert, and it retails for £25.99. So that's like close to, let's say like $35 thereabouts. But anyway, this is part of Zara's fragrance series number 2, which has a bunch of other leather type scents. Now, this is obviously a dupe from a guy called Jordi Fernandez, who is actually on the box. And you guys might actually know him from a fragrance called Explorer. And that's pretty much what he's famous for, right? But this particular fragrance actually, weirdly, is a dupe of Irish Leather by Memo Paris. And that fragrance retails for £170. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but like when you look at reviews of fragrances, especially like higher end or quote unquote high end fragrances, ones that are above like hundred-ish pound price point, so like $150 type price point, people start getting a little bit wary. Like it starts influencing their decision about whether they like a fragrance or not, which to me is a little bit silly, but it makes sense because like a lot of the mainstream popular fragrances enter the market around 70, 80 pounds. Things like Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, those types of things are all available around that price. So designer fragrances come in a little bit lower than these like, questionable fragrances. So the notes in here are obviously, leather-based. I read some reviews about this, and some of the people were talking about how it smells a little bit like a leather jacket, like a leather jacket in the rain, all this other weird stuff. But I actually, when I first smelled this, it reminded me immediately of Abercrombie Fierce. Now, as silly as that sounds, I think that it's probably closer to a combination of like one of the other Zara fragrances. So like they had another very popular leather fragrance, which this smells a lot like, but it's like powdery sweet. And I really couldn't put my nose on it in the store, but it smells a little bit like Baccarat Rouge. And I know a lot of reviewers, a lot of these like fragrance nerds and stuff are talking about how this smells like Baccarat Rouge. And I'm a big fan of that fragrance. It's one of the very few that I'm like the super premium fragrances that I'm actually willing to splash out on. But I would actually say that this is probably closer to a combination between one of the Zara leather fragrances and Ariana Grande Cloud. So it is a Baccarat Rouge dupe, but it's a lot sweeter. It doesn't last as long, and it's definitely not as pronounced. Even on skin, this doesn't really smell very, very strong. But I will say, for what it's worth, I do believe that this is almost a premium smell. Like, I'm really off of Zara scents because they fade almost immediately. But this is such a rich, complex fragrance. Like, I honestly cannot knock this at all for 25 pounds. I personally love this. I think that this is an absolute banger. So when you smell this, you have to bear in mind also that this, on my body anyway, something like Dior Sauvage might last about, just as a point of reference, or I don't know, Bleu de Chanel, whatever, might last about 6 hours. And we're talking about the EDT, not the, not the Parfum or any of the other variants. We're talking about the traditional EDT, like the first run of it. It lasted an awfully long time. This, on the other hand, this lasts about 2 hours max. But honestly, considering the volume you get for this price and the lovely scent that you get out of this, this is honestly a banger for the price. I definitely would recommend this. I know that this is a bit of a cheap review, but like, I'll be real. I think this is a bit more of a realistic review than some of the stuff that's online. I would strongly recommend this one. Again, remember, this is not Memo. This is not on the level of, Memo Paris. This is more like Ariana. Think Ariana Grande, Cloud, and another Zara fragrance mixed together in a big bottle, a much prettier bottle. And that's basically what you get for this. So hopefully you guys can try it. You do like it. It's available at every Zara store. I actually saw that it was sold out at like 3 out of 4 stores that I went to, which shows that it's really taken off. So yeah, definitely grab it. Let me know what you think.